Hi, my name is Sherry McKeon, and this is Cross Potent, a place where magical people meet. This is going to be your September 2018 horoscope for the Native American Zodiac, which is created by Sun Bear. Gotta get the Sun Bear real nice. Sun Bear, Vincent LeDuc. He wrote a great book. Like 40 years ago. And everything else comes from my American Ephemeris. So, that's where I get my good info from. We start out the month in the brown bear with the sun. And the sun has good, the sun energy flowing through this part of the season is an analytical energy. It's energy of good judgment and fairness. On the 23rd, the sun goes into the crow. And the crow is a lot more magical and social. I've seen crows up in the top of a tree, like chitter-chattering for like half an hour, just squawking at each other, and they don't fly away. They all just hang out and chit-chat, and it is kind of interesting to see that. It does kind of make you wonder if what they're talking about with all that. So this is getting a lot more sociable energy with the sun. The new moon starts out in the brown bear, and I think the theme for this month is going to be a lot of finishing up. It's kind of finishing up the season of the summer, and the new moon, it might be in the brown bear energy. It might be kind of a good time to like kind of finish up your projects, which is going to have a lot to do with the goose energy I'm going to talk about in a minute. It all ties in quite well with this time of the season where it is time to kind of decide where we're going to really direct our energy for kind of battening down the hatches for winter. So by the time the full moon comes around in the hawk, the energy of the sun will already have moved more into this crow energy, and it's a time more of what I call fire and sparkle. People are a lot more friendly and tend to want to congregate more. A lot of kids are going back to school and getting in touch with all their friends and stuff. Mercury in the salmon. Mercury is zipping along. Okay, the salmon's very charming and often noble, you know. By the 6th, that communication type of outlet, you might say, our communication outlet with Mercury is moving into the brown bear, which has a lot of good sense. We might feel that our communications are more practical, and then by the 22nd of the month, Mercury zipped all the way to the crow, and that's a little more of that fire and sparkle energy towards the end of the month. Also, the crow sometimes has powers of invisibility. So with Venus starting out the month there, and the sun kind of reflects mysteriously, you might say, on their feathers, and when the sun glints on their feathers, it sparkles. And that's always seen as a bit mysterious and like they have a little more energy of the sun about them. And that energy is moving on the 9th into the snake. And the snake is associated with copper. And I really feel that with Jupiter in the snake, been in the snake for a while, this Venus in the snake energy is going to have a lot more to do with communication than you might think. I think the copper in our technology literally relates to alchemy and the magician that uses the elements of the earth as tools. And we made copper axes and all kinds of alloys to make swords and plows, and now we're making, you know, communication technology with that copper. So that might have a lot more to do with the Venus energy and the what I'm going to describe about the Jupiter. Mars in the goose, good sense of direction. Our energy, our Mars energy is zipping along with, there's a lot of goose energy right now with Saturn and Pluto. By the 11th, Mars is already into the otter. And the otter is not so plotting and practical. The otter is rules the rivers, what I often say, but you might also remember that the otter is one of the few animals that can use a tool like a rock to crack open a shellfish. So the idea of a tool is like taking things to another level. So after the 11th, your Mars energy is going to be pushing you to take things to another level. And it would be great to direct that with all that that brown bear energy and whatnot, and the goose energy that's been around, to get some projects done and check off all your little to-do lists before summer's over, you know, winter comes. So Jupiter in the snake, very lucky to deal with your shadow issues and your dark energies and to allow them to process. Most cemeteries have a little memorial garden where you can sit and cry your eyes out when your mother dies. And that little space is there for a reason. It's a space where you can feel those dark energies and allow them to process through you in a natural, normal way. It is very normal to feel down, especially after a big event like, you know, if a child dies, or a lot of service members come back from their tour of duty, even just stationed in a peaceful country, they come back and it's been a lot of stress on them and they feel dark energies. You can't be afraid to talk about it. You've got to get that out. It's lucky to get it out and process it. And remember, yin and yang, half the universe is dark and half is light. You can't let the light take over. It's not happy, happy, joy, joy all the time. And if people tell you it's happy, happy, joy, joy all the time, or you're not doing it right, you need to reject that. Sometimes we feel down, and that's normal. Feeling extremely down and not being safe is a different matter, and you should get help. You should be safe. But it is normal to have a memorial garden in a cemetery to cry your eyes out. That's why there's a quadrant of the Zodiac that is the snake. Because it's normal to feel that way at times in your life, you know, and you can't feel it's bad, you can't feel it's not evil. Evil is out by Pluto. You know, evil is killing 6 million people. Evil is out in the Andromeda Galaxy. We're talking about just normal ups and downs of life. It is normal to feel down. And with Jupiter in this energy, man, now is the greatest time to take advantage of that and have catharsis and talk and get support and get help. So I can't emphasize that enough. You can't be afraid of the dark. You can't, you know, shadows can't scare you. You got to deal with them. It's best to deal with them, confront them, get them out in the open, and just deal with it as part of life. And don't feel bad, and don't let anybody tell you you're evil if you feel that way, because it is normal, very normal. Consider the source if they say that. So our next energy is going to be Saturn in the Goose is retrograde, but starting to go direct. So with that very plotting and efficient kind of energy is a great time to get your little to-do lists done, wrap things up before cold weather comes. Uranus in the Otter. The Otter's so smart. Oh, even though it's retrograde right now, keep in mind they use tools to crack open shellfish and to extract the goodness out of it. I mean, the idea of using a tool is just amazing in an animal. So that is the Uranus energy is kind of like the little unexpected things in our life. So we're really being challenged to kick things up a notch. Play our A game. If we can confront things with our A game, we're going to be so much more ahead of the game. There's a lot of challenges going on right now that we've really got to get things done. Get things done through this, you know, this goose energy and this snake energy, and put it together. They're very harmonious with each other. And the wolf, which is Neptune. Neptune's in the wolf. Keep in mind, the wolf is a swift runner. You know, it's considered the healing energy. Being a swift runner, sometimes you have to like zig and zag around little branches and rocks, and there's a little pothole and you gotta go around it. So this healing energy with the wolf ties in with what I've been saying about the snake. You might be zigging and zagging, but now is the time to really process it. All this is supporting you to deal with it now. Pluto in the goose, more goose energy. This goose energy's been around a while, and I think it might be getting a little on the stale side because there's a lot of perfectionism, this kind of nitpicking taking over, and things are getting left undone and people are upset about it. So it's really important to isolate down which things you're really going to devote your energy to and pick your battles. You can't have too many battles. You can't spread yourself too thin. You really need to home in on all those little things that you really need to get done. So Jupiter sextile Pluto on the 12th. This is a wonderful energy to process things and throw things away, give things away, sell things. It's a great time to process. Most of the aspects through the month are very nice. I would point out on the 18th, Mars is square Uranus, and that can really shake things up from the unexpected. But soon after that, I mean, we have the full moon and the hawk on the 24th, and I think by the end of the month we're going to feel a whole lot more sure of what we should do and where we should do it, and we should definitely follow our instincts on that. And I want to say, this is my new book. It is available at Sherry McKeon at bellsouth.net. It's $15, $3.99 shipping. That's SherryMcKeon at bellsouth.net. And just shoot me an email if you want one. It's my new workbook on the secret to losing weight, and it involves energies that Native American people are familiar with. So I also want to highlight my friend Singing Crow, and he has some wonderful things that he's been making, some wonderful jewelry. He has medicine wheels and all kinds of arts and crafts and stuff. He is at JGBILLIOT, JJBilliot at yahoo.com, and this is his phone number right there. So I'm going to be highlighting some of my friends that are Native American that make things, and I've been lucky enough to get a lot of wonderful artwork. I think these eclipses with Leo, all that creativity, energy and stuff, it's just amazing what's been getting done. And I really appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks.